My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey folks, chances are you've heard of flipping houses. God knows we've interviewed enough house flippers on this show over the years. But how about flipping land? Well, today's special guest, zooming in from one of my favorite cities in Florida, beautiful Naples, Florida, we've got Mike Balcom, and that's exactly what he does. He flips land, and he does it very efficiently, and he's got his business set up with team members and systems and processes and AI that makes things run very smoothly. So, Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave. Pleasure to be here.
Hey, Mike, do me a favor. Start off by just kind of explaining to folks who aren't familiar with land flipping, what is it? Big, broad strokes.
Yeah. So, when you're in an airplane and they're starting the descent and you look over and you see all this green area out there and you're thinking, who in the world owns that stuff? Well, somebody does. And somebody like me will approach those people and just buy it from them and see if I can sell it for more. And all in all, that's what it is.
All right, so you're buying it from somebody. Are you like land banking that for future development? Are you building stuff on it? What are you doing with the property once you buy it?
Ah, Dave, you're too kind. I'm probably the laziest guy you'll ever meet. So many people ended up buying these parcels 10, 15, 20, 50 years ago. They planned to build the dream home on it or do all these other things. Never came to fruition. So we actually just find an area we like, skip trace them, call them up on the phone and just say, hey, we like your parcel, interested in it. We typically get these parcels anywhere between 30 to 60% of market value. And then we just turn around and sell it. We do absolutely nothing to the land. Don't get me wrong, we've done some subdivides and things like that, but typically our bread and butter is just buy it, turn around and flip it.
All right. So these aren't like infill lots in the middle of the city. Typically, these are larger lots outside in rural areas, or what? Just paint us a picture of what that kind of looks like.
Yeah, so it started with more rural areas. Now I have a team of about 15 people, and the number one metric we focus on is properties that will retail for $100,000 or more. So that'll be anywhere between a quarter-acre lot in the middle of a city center to in the middle of nowhere out in Indiana that you would think, why would anybody ever buy this? That could be like 300 acres. So we've really got to the point where we are all over the map with everything now.
Very cool. So what are the end buyers typically doing with the properties that you are flipping to them?
People ask me that question all the time. I don't know, man. That's not
don't know, don't care.
Yeah. So I will tell you, based on what we know, I'd probably say about half of them are buying it to develop now. They're developers. Their bread and butter is not going out to buy parcels themselves. They just want to buy parcels on the market and build it up and sell a home. And then I think the other 40 to 50% are looking to do the same thing of who I bought it from the seller. They think, my wife and I would love to retire in this parcel, in the next 10, 15 years. That's their dream home. That's the fantasy. They buy it for that reason. And who knows, maybe I'll buy it back from them 10, 15 years from now.
All right. So you're looking for properties that you can buy for 30 to 60 cents on the dollar. Why do these sellers sell to you so cheap instead of just listing it with an agent or selling it themselves?
Yeah, good question. A lot of them had tried to list with an agent. The thing is, agents are amazing at selling kitchens and master bathrooms. So when's the last time you turned on HGTV and you watched them flip some dirt? Or be like, wow, look at that soil. I think that'll pass a 6-bedroom perk test.
That's a beautiful pasture. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not sexy, and a lot of agents are horrible at doing it. There's even times where we will just partner with a seller or treat it as an innovation deal or something and say, look, we actually know how to market these things. We sell more land deals than any agent in your area, and we know what's going on. So we're able to get in that way with them. And a lot of times they're still 10 to 15xing their money on it because they've held it so long and they're tired of paying the taxes on it. Or oftentimes they just inherited it from their parents, and it's like finding $20 in your jeans after you do the wash.
Yeah, they just want to get they want to get rid of it, not have that encumbrance. Makes a lot of sense, Mike. Okay, cool. So, how long have you been doing the land flipping gig?
Land flipping about 4.5 years, somewhere in there.
Very cool. So, if you don't mind sharing, it sounds like you've got a pretty big team. I think you said 15 people working on the team. What kind of volume of transactions are you guys doing on average, let's say?
Oh, that is such a double-edged sword. I'd say on average, we probably flip about 6 parcels a month.
Hmm.
Biggest thing for us, I deal with a lot of teams that they really pride themselves on doing 300 deals a year, but then you find out their average spread is $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah.
I tell my team we shouldn't touch a deal unless we have a minimum $30,000 spread. So I rather just go after bigger deals, get less of them, it's where you say 15. So I guess it is a lot, but that's a lot of data scientists and things like that. I try to keep it lean and mean and just have rock stars on the team though. And
Mhm.
we just look after bigger deals there. So we are definitely a quantity game or a quality game, excuse me.
Very cool. So, what really interested me when you sent me some information ahead of our call here, Mike, was it sounds like you are a data kind of guy, a processes, a systems, a very efficient kind of person, and you're gotten to the whole AI side of things as well. So, if you don't mind, maybe let's look under the hood. What does day to day operation of your business kind of look like? How do you integrate all these things?
Yeah, good question. It's hilarious you view me that way. I think I do come off that way to a lot of people. I'm not. I'm really not. Don't get me wrong. I graduated with an honors degree. I'm about to get a master's in finance, but I'm also not a data dude. If you put a spreadsheet in front of me, I will just rip my hair out. I think because of that, I
What do you think
quickly.
happened to me? Yeah, there you go.
I love it, man. I'll start sending you all my performas for you to analyze. I
No, no, I'm
appreciate
shitty at that. That's why I
it.
ripped out my hair. Yeah.
Very early on, I learned to work smarter, not harder. So I deal with so many people in the space that are like, oh, I need to learn how to text so then I can teach my VA how to text. Well, I will tell you, I used to be that person and I learned how to text. I went through an expensive course and then I wrote all these
Texting, is that what you're talking about?
texting. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texting landowners and everything for their parcels. Yeah. I apologize right now to your audience if you ever get those texts of like, hey, saw you on this property. Ever think about selling it? Definitely my competitors, not me, but it's probably me. Um, so I wrote all these great SOPs. I hired this lady to start texting for me, and she followed none of it. And I was so disappointed. So I met with her after a week and a half, and I said, Elise, why aren't you following this? Like, I paid good money for this. Like, this is it. And she said, Mike, your SOPs suck. I'm like, what? She said, I've been texting for house wholesalers for the last 7 years. My response rate is double what yours is. And everything else is, please don't fire me. I hope you're not mad. I should have told you sooner. But yeah, your stuff is garbage. And I think at that point, I really learned, wow, this idea of we need to learn how to do it to hand it off to someone else is just horrible thinking.
So you fluked out in that circumstance and happened to hire somebody that was already really good at the thing, and you just didn't quite realize it.
Yes, 100%. And now I just try to be a failure at everything and hire amazing people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah.
smart. Well, and I'm asking this from a personal point of view. So because I've heard that learn it first, teach it to them, create the SOPs. I've tried that. I suck at it too. But I also have a challenge sometimes finding the people that are really good from day one. What tips do you have about finding really good assistants? And I'm assuming, could be wrong, a lot of these people are virtual assistants from Philippines, India, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Everyone is virtual on my team.
Yeah.
Everyone. Pakistan, Egypt, Philippines. I will tell you, so I have a couple of tricks on marking people away when they're interviewing for you. So what I will do too, when I post a job ad or anything like that, something I'll write in there somewhere in the job description is when you apply in the subject line, write your favorite Star Wars character or your favorite color or something simple like that just to start disqualifying some people. The reality of it is, no matter how good or bad somebody does on an interview is not going to give you an idea how they are as an employee.
Yeah.
So I'm a big, big fan of firing fast.
Mhm.
It sounds brutal, and I think it's so hard. It's something I struggled with for a long time because a lot of us are like, oh, but Dave has potential, but he's really trying. He's going to get it. He just needs more coaching. And you know what? You're probably right. He probably does just need more coaching. But our businesses, we don't own Amazons. We don't have 1,000-person workforce. If you got less than 50 people on your team, you need rock stars. It's that simple. So really what I look for is somebody that'll blow me away in the first week or two. Somebody that really has initiative and they have that founder's mentality. They go above and beyond. Someone that even if you dangle the carrot in front of them, they're not going to work any harder. They are already driven to make things happen. And the way I tell others, my team consists of people. If I step away from my business, the fire does not stay on. If I step away, the fire grows. And that's what you want, are these people with these founder mentalities. So a good example of this, like my executive assistant, I love her to death. I'll probably end up bringing her to the States one day. When I go to her, she had no SOPs coming in. Essentially, I told her, your job is to keep me organized, and your job is to be CEO of my life. That's your job now. You figure out what that means. I essentially work for her now. I pay her, but I work for her. She tells me what to do. Nice. So I think that's what you want to look for. The person who started texting, who I just told you about, she's now our chief operating officer. Nice. And she takes initiative there. We started doing RVMs. Do not ask me how we do RVMs. I don't know.
What is an RVM for those of us who don't know that?
Yes. An RVM is a ringless voicemail. So have you ever noticed your phone rings just for a second, or you notice it doesn't ring at all, but you get a voicemail? That's somebody dropping an RVM on you. So we started implementing RVMs. I knew the data showed that it's good to do RVMs. I did not know how to do it. I handed over to my texting gal at the time, Elise. She didn't know how to do it either. She said, Mike, how do I do it? I said, I don't know. You're CEO of Outreach. Figure it out. And she did. Now we drop anywhere between 25 to 100,000 RVMs every month. So the idea of just empowering these people, I think, is the real trick. People want to be coached, not managed, and just let them run with it. And what also is so important is teach them to fail. Let them know failure is good. The only difference between Steph Curry and you is Steph has missed the ball 1,000,000 more times than you have. That's why he's such a good...
Yeah, there's a few other differences between me and Steph Curry, but yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, okay. He's not as good looking either. I'll give you that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the years of the wisdom, but hey, I get where you're going with that. Okay, very good, Mike. All right, so we kind of got an idea there of what you're doing for recruiting talent, keeping talent, and empowering talent. Tell me a little bit, I'm just curious, how are you using AI with your business these days?
Oh, good question. I think it's more, how are we not using AI? So big fan with my team, 1-3-1 rule, Dan Martell. I'm sure a lot of people have talked about it. If there's a problem, bring me a problem, 3 possible solutions, the one that you think is best. If my team, telling a team to do that is sometimes hard for them to do. Nowadays, if they can't think of 3 solutions, it's, have you asked ChatGPT? Mm-hmm. Have you asked this? Have you asked that? We need to write an addendum. Have you taken, our current contract, plugged it into ChatGPT and said, I need an addendum that does X, Y, and Z. Now, I will tell you, a lot of people are starting to do this now. Where they fail at it is a lot of people don't know how to do proper prompt engineering. Yeah. So if you're wondering, what in the world is prompt engineering? I've never heard of this. I just tell AI, I want dinner tonight. What should I eat? That's where you're failing. There's a big difference between me telling you, Dave, what should I wear today? Versus me telling you, Dave, you're a professional designer. You know that I'm a white male with hazel eyes, dark brown hair. You know that I live in Naples, Florida, and it's wicked hot outside. And I'm going to a casual lunch. Right. Your task is to...
So you have to, garbage in, garbage out, that idea. So you have to know how to ask ChatGPT. So how do you train... Okay, so you get people to do prompts, you get people to kind of brainstorm. Do you use AI for anything else in your business?
We use AI for everything in our business. We've blown up so much that way too. So really quick on prompt engineering, because I want to give this to your audience, role task format. Tell it what its role is, tell it the task you want it to do. That's what everybody in the world does right now. And then tell it what format you want it to be delivered as. Friendly, warm, kind, bullet points, academic paper, professional, rude, whatever that may be.
Mhm.
In terms of other things too, you have a call with the seller. We take that transcription. We have a Zapier integration that does it now. It runs it through ChatGPT or Zapier AI and immediately gives you a scorecard. How'd you do? How could you do better in the future? How couldn't you do better?
Nice.
And now we start implementing different things like that. We also have custom personas in there so they can start asking questions. Again, like I told you to write addendums, we do that a lot. We also do it just for reading contracts. We cover about 15 different states right now.
Mm.
Real estate contracts state to state and real estate contracts realtor to realtor. A lot of times when people are coming in as the buyers, they're represented by a realtor. These contracts change all over the place. It'll just
Yeah.
change county to county. It is such a pain to read it, figure out what's the commission, what's the closing date, what's the down payment, how long of a DD period or due diligence period do they have, all these things. Plug it into ChatGPT, figure it out that way. Those terms and services we all just click accept to, run it into ChatGPT and say, hey, is there anything out of the ordinary here I should really be aware of?
Mhm.
You'll be amazed. I was going to hire an agency to work with at one point. They sent me terms and services, which I thought was weird. I ran it through ChatGPT. In their terms and services, it says you can never have an agency that competes against us. I'm like, are you serious? That's wild, but I'm sure we probably agree to things like that all the time without realizing it. So almost anything it's what did ChatGPT say?
Yeah.
Make
So
it
using
simple
it
in
to
there.
condense the information and kind of pull out anything that you should really be aware of. Just kind of highlight the stuff that you don't want to take the time to go through.
Yes, do
Yeah.
it there, and also how to protect yourself better.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It
Makes
is
sense.
huge.
Have you, just out of curiosity, because are you doing outbound cold calling to folks as well?
Yes, we have done outbound cold calling.
Are you using AI for that or live people for that?
We use live people right now.
Mhm.
I love the idea of voice calling. I don't believe that technology is there. I can
Mhm.
cold call you right now for about a minute, minute and a half, and you'll think I'm a human being on the phone. After that, it all goes south.
Yeah.
So I can't have good, long conversations with you. Now, I do know some teams, and we've been toying with this too, where if you call me back, it can be an AI that picks up the phone and it'll be something of, oh, you're looking for Mike? Oh, what were you calling him about? Okay, yeah, he actually just stepped out to run to the grocery store real quick to grab lunch and everything. Let me take a brief message and I'll have him call you back. You can do something like that with
Yeah,
AI, but
like have a AI receptionist kind of thing, basically for easy stuff. Passing the
yeah,
calls on. Yeah, yeah, that
has to
makes
be
sense.
super, super easy. Because once you start getting into the weeds of the nitty gritty on things, like, oh, what are the HOA rules here? Now it's starting to pull things now, ChatGPT or
Start
whatever
to
large
invent
language model
stuff.
you're using. Yeah, it's hallucinating, it's making things up, and now it's giving out bad information. So yeah, I love the idea of it. I have explored it so much. It's not there yet for more complex things.
Got it. No, that makes a lot of sense. So, Mike, we're early days into 2025. What are the goals for the rest of the year?
2025. Continue to grow the land business. And most importantly, just get out of my team's way. They seem to do better and better when I just let them be,
Nice.
which is hard to do because then I get bored and I'm like, what are you doing? What's going on? I can make it better. But by me thinking I can make it better, I just make it worse. Um, so grow that business, hoping to bring in around 3 million in revenue in that business. And then we run a couple of data companies and help other investors as well in that space. So really hoping to bring in 3 million in that space as well and just continue to grow, love life, travel the world. And really what I love doing more than anything is making my team members' dreams come true. So everyone that interviews with us, we find out like, what's your goal in life? Where do you want to be in 5 years? And everybody gives you the same answer. I want to work for a good, stable job, for the next 5 years. It's like, yeah, but like, what do you really want? Like, what matters to you? And oftentimes they're just like us. They care about their family. They want to pay off their mortgage. They want to have health insurance. They want to send their kids to college, things like that. So we figure out how to reverse engineer that and make that happen. And that's usually how we end up writing all our goals for the business is just how can we serve our team? I love those guys to death.
That's awesome, Mike. If people want to connect with you, what's the number one best place they can go?
Best place would probably be my website. It's Mike T. Balcom. That's B as in boy, ALCOM as in Mary.com. You can find me there, email, call, text, whatever you want to.
Awesome, Mike. Well, thanks so much for being on the show. This has been a lot of fun.
Hey, my pleasure, Dave. I'll see you next time.
All right, everybody, take care, and we will talk to you on the next episode. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.